we have here something that can be very helpful. We have here this little device. It's called a GPS. Okay, now probably a lot of people here are familiar with the GPS, right? Been around for quite a while. Some of them are right in the automobiles today, but this one you could be walking somewhere. Again, ask it how to get somewhere. How do you get somewhere? The device will tell you, but you have to ask the right question. Otherwise, you aren't going to get there. You might get somewhere, but not where you want to go. If you want to come here to Cathedral tonight, just ask the GPS. But you got to ask the right question. You want to go to East Onondaga Street. It's not Onondaga Avenue. It's not Onondaga Boulevard, right? It's not Onondaga Road. Because if you put that in, you're going to be quite a ways from here. We have to ask the right question. Well, in our gospel tonight, it's really a story of some people that asked the wrong question. They asked the wrong question. They tell Jesus about a woman who had been married to 7 brothers. The Sadducees didn't believe in the afterlife. They didn't believe in life after death. So they're trying to give Jesus a very foolish example and see what he said. Now, whose wife would she be? Who does she belong to? Whose property is she? Well, Jesus tries to be patient with him and says, that's not how God's love works. She doesn't belong to anybody. She belongs to God. Because God loves her with a perfect love, the same way God loves everybody else. God's love is for all. Now, what do we say about this love of God for us and all people? Well, a man in the neighborhood said, love is like this. He said, my father had a tough life. And he had a substance abuse problem every day. But he cherished me. He cherished me, and I knew it. So when my father died, the love he had for me didn't die with him. I feel that love now. So my father's love is just keeping on going. This is one example of how to describe that love of God for us. Now, the mistake that the Sadducees made in asking the question is, they tried to limit God's love. And God's love is without limits. There is no limit to God's love. God loves every person without limits. No one's left out. No limits, no exceptions. God's love is there for all. And this is the love that we want to remember. Now, This love sometimes can be hard to imagine. How can we have this love that God calls us to have? Because we have to admit that an awful lot of people in this world can quite simply be hard to love. And we can't imagine how God could love them or how we could love them. And it's not just, though, in our own country, the people that do the mass killings, shooting up everybody in sight in a shopping mall or even a school, or someone in our world, we hear of stories of unbelievable cruelty by people. But it's not just that. Sometimes those that are hard to love can be very close by us. It could be a neighbor, a co-worker, even a family member. Hard to love. Yet, this is what we're called to do. So, maybe when we find this love very hard, almost impossible to have for groups of people or people around us, when it looks almost hopeless for us, let's just try and remember the love that God has for us. The love that God has for us. And we are cherished by God. So, as we go on now and prepare to share in the body and blood of Christ, let's just remember, let's stop a minute before we go and remember someone that cherished us. Someone that cherished us. Might be a parent, partner, someone else, a child even. Take a minute. Remember somebody that cherished us if we can. And that's the love that God has for us. We are cherished by God. So as we go on now and we let's ask God's help. We prepare to share in the body and blood of Christ. Let's ask God's help to truly do the very best we can to love those around us. No limits, no exceptions.